Pittsburgh is sharing with us that they represent the politics of North Korea. In order to address the situation between me and Hopp Kendrick, you'd have to discuss at length a number of parallel issues. Now, I'm going to put aside North Korea because they don't have many responsibilities ethnically and culturally. They're just themselves. But if you're trying to build a consensus about the AIDS attack based on the nuclear club, you're not going to get much of an audience in academics from me. I don't own any weapons, and I do not approve. But the issues that need to be discussed are such things as John Lucarelli's quotation of Mencken, nobody ever went broke, underestimating the tastes of the American people. Expressions like caught with their pants down. The old television show Smile, You're on Candid Camera. All of these things suggest a lack of seriousness regarding evaluating a situation where they tried to depict me with the help of Sean Brooks as some sort of ambassador to love American style. When Greg Carl was writing things like the persona is subjected to successive degradations of the X motive. Pornographic genocide was showing up as symbolism in our computers. COVID-19 attacked our grannies. None of this just happened. It was organized patrol. And now they have a feedback loop in the home computer where your desktop is your wifey and they want an observation, meaning peep, your sincerity to the causes of the world. And they want to know what my choice of girlfriends would be. They have obviously used me as some sort of symbolic item for pornographic black markets in genocide porn. That's the real issue. I don't want to talk about the character issues pertaining to whether Sean Brooks thinks I'm weird. They set up a shack system of industry for child bondage and made a joke of it through the offices of Yoko Ono and Peter Gabriel. Who was behind this? It turns out Pappy Killing Netanyahu and Yoko Ono were working together, just as they're working together on the TikTok war. The Rolling Stones went out and boom, a puff of smoke, the Witches of Oz in Tel Aviv when they started this horrifying genocide. America is thinking like Tojo when it comes to foreign policy. Oh, like MacArthur said that the Japanese were like children, and what he meant was they never forgive a slight. They can't have no self-respect unless they injure somebody as an opposition. Now, you would argue if you understood Japanese culture, conservative culture, and their honor society, they don't all think that way. They also thank somebody who defeats them for the lesson. But all of that is separate from the idea of simply antagonizing somebody because it makes you feel like you're their better. The inability to see the human race thinks it's God. They really do. They think that looking at the other is an interface, and dominating the other is the interface whereby they're judged. Really, our relationship, our primary relationship, isn't to one another. Maybe our passions are aroused most powerfully by one another, but our primary loyalty is to the cosmos and the celestial idea of our ethic. Now, behind this, they say that sex is morality. They can't sustain that argument with their peep show because they were using children for their peep show. The whole thing is based on child peep blackmail. The whole thing. So, really, the issue isn't peep show politics. The issue is who put together a system of genocide pornography and called that a superior morality to just learning to work together on public address of the conflicted feelings of children growing up through puberty. When you have a society that abandons lifelong psychology as the essential medium for honors study in public education. Let me repeat that. When you abandon a society that has lifelong psychology as a central focus of honors study in public education, you become a self defeating mechanism of ignorance at large in our society and in our commonwealth. America has, to our credit, more complicated obligations than North Korea. We shouldn't engage in a compare and contrast. We shouldn't be oppositional to them. We should recognize their framework as working for them and acknowledge the hardship it took to arrive at a place where they are respectable and flourishing and help them in any way that they will accept. But they do not have the complicated obligations and considerations of an academic society. Our society has opposition coming out of the woodwork that defines itself by narrow views of prejudice. They hate academics. They hate North Korea. And they say North Korean academics hate each other, must hate each other. The world cannot be reconciled. And steam comes out of their spinner beanies at any mention of diplomacy.